Imagine that you've obtained measured data from a source, and you'd like to see what the illumination pattern would be far away from the source. The traditional method for doing this in Zemax would be to set up a system in non-sequential mode, in which the measurement data would be imported into a source object, and you'd trace rays onto a detector placed far away from the source. Here's an example of a file set up in just that way. In this case, the source data were actually measured using equipment here at Radiant Zemax. Now, you'd probably need to trace something like 1,000,000 rays to get an accurate picture of the far-field distribution. Since non-sequential ray tracing in Zemax is fully multi-threaded, tracing 1,000,000 rays can actually be pretty fast. It takes about 1 second to trace 1,000,000 rays on my 12 processor machine. Pretty impressive, huh? But fundamentally, the information that we're interested in is right there in the measurements themselves. So we really shouldn't have to trace rays to get at it. That's because the illumination pattern far away from the source is really just given by the angular distribution of the source. And this is already contained in the measured data. The new Source Illumination Map feature in Zemax 12 IE reads the angular data from the source and displays a true color image of the illumination pattern in the far field. The input source data can be in the standard IESNA or illum.dat format, or it can be in the RSMX format that is provided when the source is measured by Radiant Zemax. The Source Illumination Map is accessed under the Analysis Source Viewers menu. Let's take a quick look at the settings for this feature. At the top of the dialog, the user defines the source that they want to use. If the source doesn't contain information about the wavelength for each ray, you can also define the spectral distribution for the source. You then define the placement of the source compared to the detector, and finally the properties of the detector. Now, the cool thing about this feature is that you can look at the pattern not just from a single source, but from up to 8 different sources. Each source can be characterized by a different file, have a different color, and be in a different location. And Zemax will figure out what the final illumination pattern will look like. Here's an example using 2 different sources. To generate the same result with ray tracing, we'd have to have a separate source object in our non-sequential system for each source and trace 1,000,000 rays from each of those sources. The Source Illumination Map is a powerful tool for quickly looking at the pattern formed by multiple sources in an illumination system and is available in Zemax 12 IE.